So on. Okay, man, so I'm doing this in D, obviously. The album version's in D sharp that you sent me, but the concert version is in D. And that's kind of the parts, and you said you wanted to talk about the solo. So the easiest way that I would play that little run would be this. And it does it different. Whether it's that or I think that's how it technically is on the album, so in a different key. Alright, so I'm going to go 10th fret here, and we're going to be on string 6, 5, 4. I'll do it kind of like the album to start out, but like sometimes we would do the full arpeggio, but we'll do it like the album. That's how I remember it. So slide up however you want. So that's 6, 4, and then we're going to hit the C pedal and then go 5, 6. So 6, 4, pedal 4 in, out, 5, 6, open. And you could technically do it on the B and C because I'm kind of muting all of them. Unfortunately, we can't go. I assume your pedal is moving that, so it's kind of one note at a time. I got a little delay going, just to thicken it up a little. Okay, so then down 2 frets, same 3 strings, 6, 5, 4, and then same thing, C on and off, and then 5, 6. So now we got a really easy E minor arpeggio, the same one Trey's doing right here. Drop our E's, so that's my left knee in, but whatever drops your 4th and your 8th string, drop your E's, and we play those same strings again, 6, 5, 4. Okay, so far we got okay, now we're gonna go down to the D form. Same notes, or same strings, 6, 5, 4 with the A and B. Down to the G open 3rd fret, and do the same move we did on those first 2 major chords. I think that's what he's doing mostly, is the full arpeggio. 6, 5, 4, pedal A, C on and off, and then 5, 6. So we got back up here and hits the D, right? He's really kind of hitting a D suspended at almost always, it seems like. So that would be, if you hit the full triad, it wouldn't really matter. But a suspended chord, like the 8th string and the 6th string on a D, basically you're skipping your 10th or 6th. So you could do 8, 10th and 5th, sorry. So you can do 8 and 6, or 6 and 4, if you wanted to be a little bit more exactly like what Trey's doing. So it was a... But if you hit the triad, it would not be tragic, okay? And then that's... then it goes into the solo, but let's go over the other parts before I talk about the solo. So... the only, would be like after they do the lockdown, and then to the C, G, F, D, and that's when he's coming up and playing that sus chord, if you want to avoid the 3rd there, but voicing's not all that important. C, G, F, C, then it does the lock up from F to G, and this is all I'm doing. I'm doing 8-6-5 on all these. This walk I was definitely 8-6-5. Alright, so that solo part does that whole thing I was just talking about. So C, G, F, delta, D. Does that a few times, same amount of times. Literally does, you know, and then it goes to the that F, G, D. I'm sure you got that all figured out. So basically Trey is just slamming minor against all of that. So don't need to be super picky about it. You know, the easiest minor place would be just playing on your 8th fret here, kind of out of your A, B position, thinking that your root is on the 7th string. You know, that first little, yeah, he's kind of doing an octavey thing. You might want to get this in there just because it's so much like what Trey plays, which is using your C pedal somehow. I'm hitting B and C on the 4th. You could do 4th and 5th. He's kind of doing an octave thing, so it would be 4th and 1 would kind of give you really close to what he's doing. Yep. So I'm just bringing in C 4th string against my 1st string. I have this 4th string tuned pretty off of the 2nd string because to get this minor chord, it's that's usually the key for most guitars. But so that's why I'm so freaking slanted there. But okay, trying to show you, but just pedal that in 4 and 1 against each other. You know, and then, and like just a lot of this, that's like 5th, just bring it in, and leaving my B pedal down. So I think like the easiest place for soloing in that minor thing is 8th fret. You're kind of thinking your B is down and your A is roaming along to B pedal. So it goes to that thing and then drops into the D. Okay, so that solo when it drops does that first part we were talking about, and then it comes in and he's still soloing over that F to G and D. You know, you can basically just still do some minor there, and eventually he's getting to kind of when it's doing that little walk down. And that's just a few different ways you could play it. Basically going from 4 to 3 on the D there. I had my pedals down, so you could either do pedals down and 3rd string from 10 to 9. That's that little whiny thing up there, or you're in a D, so it maybe make more sense to do pedals up and do 11 to 10. Okay, yeah, and then you'll hear that just like, so I'm going to listen to a little bit more of it, and I'm going to listen to some of the live one and see if there's anything crazy that's fun to learn. Yeah, so, you know, then they go into that jam. So on kind of all of these jams, you know, depending on what you guys are doing, what the band's doing, because when they go into the jam, like it's very conspicuously, I think, on all versions, even the album version, not really a 3rd. It's just D tonality, so you take it minor or major. I'd say, you know, it sounds like he always starts out with a something like that. You know, that first break is all like I was showing before. And you're getting to the root down here on the 7th string. And I'm leaving my B down, so you hear a lot of this. Sliding that 6th string up from 7 to 8. you know, then it goes into the jams. Flow. It's, yeah, basically a D7 and a B7, it kind of sounds like. Again, I might choose your power sus chords, you know. You could, you know, on the open chords, if you're doing open, you could do, you know, 10 and 8 is nice and fat. But on this, if you're jamming, D minor. And basically anything you played, even if you lifted your B here, it's gonna sound like minor. So right here's a D drone for there. Right? Or you could go up, you know, sometimes they go to the D major. And if you go up to your D majors, you know, I would just make sure you know where your minor thirds are, because there's going to be a lot of those, even if you're in more of a major tonality. You know, minor third here, third string. Going from minor to major is 9 to 10, 6, 7. It's going 11 to 12, or if you're going back down to the 2, 11 to 1. So even if you're up here in the major, I think you're going to hear lots of that. Or you can just think anywhere you're playing an F, right? So here's other places for the minors. We got, you know, this, you could just go up to your F fret. And again, anything you play an F up there, it's going to sound like D minor. You also could very much think down on the 6th fret, dropping the E's. Up to your A and B there. I mean, or D minor or F major, same thing. But I think the biggest one, just because you get that on the A pedal, is that 8th fret out of your A and B position. We have a D minor right here. 7, 6, 5 with our pedals down. Alright, man, I think that should clear it up. I love me some Phish, so hopefully that's fun to play.